Hello and welcome back to Project 380. On today's episode we're going to be carrying on with the sill and the arch repair. So in the last episode we cut out the rear arch and cut out the sill and started getting rid of some of the rust. There's still a little bit of rust to cut out and replace with some nice fresh metal, but the aim of today is to get the sill and the arch welded in. So to start off with, we're going to clean up the area where the sill attaches to the chassis, cut out and patch up what rust is left, clean as much rust out of the inner sill as we can. The areas of the chassis where the new panels are going to attach to, I'm going to clean up and give a good coat of zinc primer. Then we're going to trim the new sill panel to fit and then tack it in. So we've got rid of as much rust as we can, patched up what needs to be patched and given it a little coat of zinc primer, ready to receive the sill. So now we're going to get the sill ready by removing the paint where we're going to weld and then drilling the holes ready to spot weld it. And what we're going to do is slightly move the spot welds over to nice fresh strong metal. So that is the new sill panel all tacked in. As you can see, I've spread the spot welds out a little bit, trying not to put a lot of heat in the panel and warping it. So now what I'm going to do is do the rest of the spot welds, but go around spreading them out, trying not to put a lot of heat all in one place. So that is the sill replacement panel all welded in, and now it's time to move on to the rear arch. So with this, I'm not going to be taking the typical approach into welding it in. You may have noticed in the previous episode that I was actually missing a lot of my inner arch, and where the outer arch meets the inner arch, they actually fold together and are spot welded together. But years ago I did cut most of that out to fit the wide arches, but now because I haven't got that inner arch there, I'm not going to be drilling out the spot welds in the arch repair panel. So for me, the most important bit is going to be lining up inside the door shut. So because I haven't got that inner arch to clamp the new arch repair panel to, we're going to have to hold it by hand. We're going to first start by aligning the door shut lines, tacking it in place, and then moving away from there. Just taking it one tack at a time and making sure that tack has completely cooled down before we move on to the next one. Hopefully this will prevent the panel warping as I go along and weld it together. So to start things off, because the panels that I have got are galvanised, I'm going to take off the galvanisation where I'm going to be welding. We're going to make sure the panel still fits nicely into place after welding in the new sill, and then tack it to the car. Well, that actually went a lot better than expected, and as you can see, it's fitting rather well. Now before I go and fully weld this cut line, I'm going to move down into the inner arch. I'm going to drill the repair panel just into the inner arch where I have still got some inner arch left, and then spot weld it together. The same underneath, a couple of drilled holes there, and then weld that in. And then I'll move back up to this cut line and fully weld it, starting from the front, moving to the back, then to the middle, to the front again, trying to separate that heat out, trying not to put it all in one place, and letting it cool down completely before I move on to the next area.
Can you wait?
that is the arch and the sill all welded up. Well, the arch isn't quite finished yet. I'll be finishing that off in the next episode. I'm going to have to take a slightly different approach to welding the arch to the inner arch, as I haven't got much of the inner arch left. But I have got a plan. So this isn't the typical way you would weld in the rear arch, but this is the way that I've found has worked best for me with the situation my car was in. So for example, if your car wasn't rotted out round here, you probably wouldn't need this whole panel. You'd probably just cut it about here somewhere. Whereas the job on the sill that I've done, I think is probably typically what most people would do. So join me next time where hopefully I'll be making this all look pretty and finishing this up. Or I might have something else installed. Don't forget to leave this video a like and give us a comment down below. And if you are new, please consider subscribing. That's all for today, and I'll catch you next time.
Action!